Hey everybody, Dan here. So how about that football game? It was pretty awesome. And depending on who you're supporting, you may have really liked it or not. We're not going to talk about football at all.
Boring!
We're going to talk about two things, and that is the epic halftime show by The Weeknd and also that video camera, the new video camera that they actually display that point of view that looked very much like a video game. And we're going to talk about those two things today, and that's it for our upload. So my name's Dan. My full-time job when I'm not holding a video camera is fitness. My wifey and I run Driven Fitness and Lifestyle. Also, we'll get this out of the way. If you're liking this video, big thumbs up on it. It does make a difference overall in the algorithm with YouTube. And first time coming across my channel, I'd appreciate a subscription. And if you want to share your own point of view, toss in the comments below what you thought about, obviously, the halftime show. And if you notice that video camera and how it's going to kind of change how we view and watch sports and kind of that integration with video games. So kicking off talking about that halftime performance. First of all, I am super jazzed and super amped up for photo shoots. That gave me several photo shoot ideas, and thank you to The Weeknd for that inspiration. That red jacket, all of those lights, I can already see an awesome sort of boudoir lifestyle photo shoot ready to go. Without a doubt, the most memorable halftime show that, well, besides the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, one of the most memorable halftime shows. I love how The Weeknd actually spent months to play it up, and actually his public appearances laid out and laid the groundwork for the actual video. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna toss an article below that's linked on up that you guys can check out. Very, very interesting the way he set that up. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but it was super golden. So leading into the uploads for this year, I wanted to get a lot more ad campaign style photography going and videography, because I'd love to work with some larger brands, as if you're watching this, I'm sure you do too. Licenza and Nike, those big brands. The biggest challenge with that is I don't have a body of work that's similar to show them. I do have the skill set to get that going. Now that I'm inspired to do shoots like that and do campaign style shoots, this year is actually going to be checking it off the bucket list, tackling some of those, and maybe getting some of my work out there to bigger campaigns and to bigger brands. So if you're someone that's always been wondering how you do that, how do you reach out to Licenza, how do you reach out to Nike, Reebok, those big brands, the biggest thing that I can tell you is start doing an ad campaign on your social media. Grab your phone, start doing an ad campaign like that, tag the brand in it, start becoming aware or being known as getting that awareness around you. Trying to figure out what I'm trying to say here, but you got the idea. Build that brand awareness so the brands come to you, because I've noticed in my experience, every time I'm reaching out to brands, it's always met with a bit of a full stop in advance, but they always want to see your body of work. So start producing that body of work. That's my tip for you. So there's more to come on that, and I'm super excited to share, and big process of the uploads this year. Not only that, it's really cool because the other day, Michelle was actually watching some of our video blogs from Asia. So,
and he said, "Oh, down there, let's take a tram." I was like, "Come on, we should be adventurous." Yeah.
Victoria Peak. So not only is this great to propel my potential career or my side gig overall, this is really amazing because I've got these memories from years ago, although maybe a little cringeworthy, some awesome memories that are available online that I can always come back to, which is great. So the second point was talking about that video style camera, and there's actually really nothing special with that video camera. I looked into it a little bit. It's called the Sony Venice camera. What that actually does, it gets a really blurry depth of field going. So you can do that with a traditional DSLR or mirrorless camera to create that cinematic look. What they've done is maybe make it just a little bit more blurry, so the subjects actually pop out from the foreground. It looks really 3D, really ties into the video games. I'll obviously link some examples below. I'm really cautious of the copyright strike, but we'll see if we can sort of meld in some visuals for you so you can see that. Maybe you can go back to some of those highlights from that big Super Bowl style event where they played football and check it out for yourself. My initial thoughts on it, definitely next generation. Although there's really nothing different being done with it, it's not a crazy expensive camera, you can actually get the same point of view from your DSLR by using a lens that offers a really shallow depth of field. So something like a f2.8, f2, f1.8, f1.4, all of those really fast aperture lenses will give you that really blurry background. If you're someone who just actually has an iPhone and you're videoing on your iPhone, hot tip for you is if you actually zoom in a little bit on your iPhone video, you can create that depth of field. So if you don't have a really expensive camera, you don't have anything that'll do that, your phone, I mean, the new iPhones nowadays are incredible on what they can do. So try that out, zoom in a little bit, focus in on your subject, you'll get a really blurry background and depth of field. So that's a good way that you can replicate some of that with your own stuff. If you have a video camera, great, get a fast lens. If you just have your phone, the technologies in phones nowadays are incredible. One of the last little takeaways, I think if you're a video game person, the melding of that video game style, especially in the celebrations and stuff that they brought into real life, we're starting to see not only like, not yet is like virtual reality and augmented reality really mainstream, but we're really starting to see that meld. So you can see with this next generation style video camera, or the next generation style that they're showing in these games, it can be really beneficial overall to see that point of view. And I think it's going to change for video makers, for camera makers, and also for consumers as well, and how they want to display their point of view too. So really cool to see that, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. So one of the neat things about this camera that I did notice, because it was so quiet at the game, I think it was only 25% capacity, or like 25,000 fans, because I just zoomed in here, you can see a little bit more blurry in the background here. Because of that factor, you really, with using that camera point of view, you didn't notice the crowd as much. So with these protocols in place and less fans in the stands, they're figuring out a cool cinematic way to work around that. So a really neat sort of thing that I noticed that came out of that video perspective. So that does it for this upload. I'd love to know your thoughts on those two things, that halftime show and that video camera. Two cinematic experiences that, although it had nothing to do with sports, I think really tied into everything in the whole event, which was awesome. So if you have any thoughts on it, toss in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys on your own point of view and what you noticed with those two events in that big game. As always, follow me up on Instagram, Dan is Driven, Spark Creative Co. If you have anything to share that you think is relevant, slide into my DMs and share it away. Let's get the conversation going. And my next upload, if you watched the last upload, we talked about selling my camera gear. I'm shooting on the new rig here. It's really nice. I'm going to talk about why I bought a 2-year-old mirrorless camera, why I bought a used lens, the benefits of some of those things. That's going to be the next upload. My name's Dan, and that's really all I wanted to share with you today. Thanks for tuning in.